A lot of people think of smart shades as a luxury upgrade, when they're really a comfort upgrade that can really change how comfortable a room is. For example, my bedroom from the afternoon to sunset gets cooking in the sun. And we can leave the shades shut all day. We try to shut them in the afternoon, but then you forget about it, the room is hot, and the damage is done. Then we end up having to run the air conditioning to cool the room down, because who wants to go to bed in a hot room? Smart shades fix that. Later, I'll show you how you can automate these in multiple different ways, so you don't even have to think about it. They just close and keep the room cool. Now, what's nice about these Bringnox shades is that they are one of the most affordable smart shade options out, and we'll talk about that later. Also, I've been dealing with light bleed from my current shades for years. Finally, I have a solution that solves that, so there's a completely dark room, and we'll talk about that in a bit. This video is sponsored by Bringnox. They did send these over for me to check out, but like all my videos, I'm going to keep it real with you guys and let you know what all these can do, what kind of options you have available, and how automations can really help you out. I'll put links in the description so you could go check them out. Before I get into what comes in the box when you order these, I want to share with you why I went with the roller shades, because Bringnox has all different shades. They got the roller shades, cellular shades, zebra shades, wooden woven shades, outdoor shades, and more. What's nice is you could get them all with the matter over thread motor, meaning you could use them with any smart assistant, including Apple Home, which is very important to me. Whatever room you're looking for shades for, they probably have an option for you. They can also make custom shades for large windows, which works well for my bedroom because 2 of the windows are almost 6 feet wide. For my bedroom, I went with the blackout roller shades, and one of the reasons I went with them is that I like the look of the different fabric options. It actually took me a little while to pick which fabric I wanted. The other reason, and one of the biggest reasons to get them, is light blockers. With the roller shades, there are light blocking channels that you put on the inside of your window frame that seals up any light bleed, so you can truly black out a room. I've been using more expensive cellular smart shades, and you get that little sliver coming through on the side, and it's pretty annoying when you're trying to sleep in and you get that light peeking in. Here's a look at my window before I put in the light blocking side rails, and my window is not square. You could see the uneven gaps all the way around it. With the side rails in, it blocks the light, but also hides that the window is not square. With the Bringnox roller shade and those light blocking channels, you can have darkness all day. Here's the shade that I went with. It is the Vigor series, and I picked the rock white blackout color, and this is a cross-woven fabric that gives you some texture and gives you something that's just not a solid color. But then on the back side, it's white, so if you don't want the same color inside and out, this is a great series. If you do want the same color inside and out, they do have some other options. Now, when you order these, you pick whatever width you want, whatever height you want, and then you can pick the motor that goes in it. I went with the matter over thread, but there's also the Zigbee option, there's Z-Wave, there's just the regular remote option. You got options there. They also give you options on whether you want a valance on it, a white valance, a fabric wrap valance, a curved valance. You also can pick what kind of rod you want at the bottom, whether you want the round one, you want the white one, or like I did is I went fabric wrapped for the bottom and for the valance. Since I don't have a frame around my window that's white, I didn't go with the white hardware. I thought, let's just make it all the same color. Once you pick the shade itself and the type of motor you want, you could pick how you want to control it. I went with the 15-channel remote. They actually pair all 3 shades to that remote in the factory. Now, these are battery powered. You have a couple of different charging options. You could go with the solar panel, so it keeps them charged continuously. You could go with the standard charging cable, or like I did, you go with the magnetic charging cable. So you just put it right up there, use the magnets, pull it down. These will need charged about every 4 to 6 months. Now for the installation of these, they're actually really quick to do. They have spring-loaded mounts, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to mount these. And part of that is taking off the existing shade, put these spring-loaded mounts into the window frame, or if you're doing an outside mount, put them on the outside of the frame, and then you just snap the shades into place. Bringnox also has a no drill option, so you don't have to put any holes in there, which is perfect if you're renting. Now let's talk about setting up with the smart home. Since they're Matter over Thread, you can set them up with Google, Apple, or Amazon. You do need to make sure you have a Thread border router, so that's going to need to be a Google or Amazon device that has a Thread border router. If you're an Apple home user like me, you can use an Apple TV that has Thread, or you can use one of the HomePods. Once I added them into Apple Home, I can control them from any of my devices, including my Apple Watch, or I can use voice. Hey Siri, close shades. Now, when it comes to using voice, you can ask to have it open or have it closed, and it's going to go fully open or closed. Or say open to 50%, open to 25%, close to 25%. But the real magic is programming them into automations. The simplest way is to pick a time of day that you have them close. Pick how far. You maybe just have them close a little, so you just have a little bit of light coming through. For my front shade, when the sun starts to set, it just comes in and bakes the room. So 2 hours before sunset, I have that closed so that it's almost all the way closed. And it makes a huge difference when it comes to heat. You can also set it so that it goes off in the morning if you want, or just cracks in the morning so you get a little bit of sunlight to wake you up. Another way to automate this is that you could put a temperature sensor in there. So if the room starts to get hot, they close for you. So if it's not a hot day and you got the windows open, they don't close at all. But then if it is a hotter day and you keep those windows closed, you still can have light until the room gets to a certain temperature. Or you can even use a light sensor. So for example, in my bedroom, when the sun starts to set, if I had a light sensor there picking up too much light directly on it, it could then close the shades. It's nice to have this stuff automated and just happening for you. You know, it keeps the room so much cooler not thinking about that. Now, my experience in using these, I found they respond quickly. I like that they're connected with Thread. My connection of choice is either Zigbee or Thread. I try to avoid Wi-Fi devices altogether, but there is an option if you don't have a Thread border router. But I've found that I can either use voice with it, use it in the automations. It is good to have a remote, especially with my wife, so she doesn't have to use voice or an app. She can always pull out the remote. Now, when it comes to battery life, I haven't had them long enough to burn all the way through the battery. Bringnox says 4 to 6 months with it. The light blockers for the roller shades, I didn't know those were an option. That right there is a nice upgrade to get a truly dark room. Let's talk about price on these. Two of the more affordable options out there are Bringnox and SmartWings. And I've used SmartWings and they've worked out well, but they're about $100 more per shade, if not more than that, as the shade gets bigger, and depending what options you pick. For a comparison, here is the same 70-inch roller shade that I ordered with the Matter over Thread motor. I added a remote to it and the light blockers, and the total came out to $413. The same shade at SmartWings that is 70 inches wide with the Matter over Thread motor, a remote, and the light blockers comes to almost $508. That's a $95 savings, and it doesn't factor in the 10% off site-wide, which brings it down to $372, which is a $136 difference. It's easy to just write off smart shades thinking they're too expensive, but definitely check out the website and follow their measurement instructions. They're easy to do, and see what it prices out at. You might be surprised, especially when they have the deals going on that can make a big difference in the cost. My final thoughts on these, I don't think you're going to really find a more affordable custom shade option, especially with so many different options on there. The fact they're Matter over Thread is huge. I need everything to work with Apple Home. I'm beyond those days of only working with Echoes and working with Google Smart Homes. I don't think a lot of people realize how much value smart shades can add. I mean, keeping something like your bedroom cool and comfortable, especially at night, is huge. And to not have to run your AC because a room in your house is hot is huge. You take advantage of those automations and you have it work for you. Too often I'd walk into the room and be like, oh, it's burning up, and then I got to physically close the shades. So there you go. A look at the different options, how they install, some of the benefits of smart shades, and how to automate them. So if you want to check them out, there's links in the description. Now, are you using smart shades or thinking about getting some? Let us know in the comment section. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing, check out future videos, and next, check out one of these videos over here for some more great stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye.